What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Here today to talk a little bit about single stitch versus double stitch vintage t-shirts. It's a banger. It's the video y'all been waiting for. I know you're sitting there in your rooms, you're like, dang, wish someone would drop a YouTube video about the different ways to stitch a t-shirt up, because I'd watch that. Well, your dreams just came true, alright? So here's what we're talking about today. Vintage t-shirts have what's called single stitching. New shirts don't have that. They ain't with that, all right? So what's the difference between double stitch and single stitch? It's pretty damn basic. I'm gonna hit you a little secret, all right? Single stitch uses one stitch, double stitch uses two. The difference between a vintage t-shirt and like a non-vintage t-shirt is the stitching, all right? So this is a single stitch t-shirt. I'm gonna zoom in, you're gonna see this. Single stitch t-shirts have one stitch along the outside and two on the inside. A double stitch t-shirt like this one is going to have two lines of stitching on the outside and the inside. This is also referred to as a chain stitch, and this is referred to as a lock stitch. I'll talk about that in a second. This shirt is a Sturgis shirt from 1993. Sometime around 94, 95 is when they stopped making, somewhere around 1994 or 1995 is when they stopped really making single stitch t-shirts. This process is a little slower. You have to go over it twice, sort of. You don't technically go over it twice, it takes twice as long, sort of. It's a little tricky to explain. Basically, fuck it, it doesn't matter. This process takes a little bit longer. It's why it's not as common now. You'll find this maybe on some higher end shirts, maybe some designer shirts. You're not gonna find this on the majority of any shirt like this, which would have just been like a shirt printed at a rally, a band shirt. They're all gonna have double stitch construction because you get more stitches per minute and you can bang those shirts out super fast. The reason that proper single stitch t-shirts are worth more than a double stitch t-shirt is because this is a lot more durable. It's what's called a lock stitch. So the way it's done, it takes a little bit more time, but you get this one seam on the outside. It looks a lot cleaner. It's really simple. And then on the inside, you have sort of two lines of stitching that are really close together. So there's two main benefits to this. The first one is that say I break a stitch here, I pull this apart, I snag it on something, whatever, something like that. If it catches and starts to pull, it only pulls what you actually ripped off. You're not gonna tear all the way around. It's not gonna keep unraveling all the way down and your whole sleeve's gonna come apart. You're just gonna get a little bit pulled off. That's why these shirts stay around so long. They're a lot more durable. So what you might get on a double stitch t-shirt, and it's one of the reasons that single stitch is so much more sought after, is you might get what's called sort of puckering, all right? So when you wash your shirt, you dry it, maybe you hang it to dry it, maybe you put it in the dryer, whatever, the fabric kind of stretches in different ways. And because you've got two lines of stitching holding that fabric together, you're gonna get what's called a pucker, where it kind of like puckers up. It'll pucker up, it'll look a little weird. You won't get like that clean, simple line. It's not gonna lay flat, it might stick up a bit, it might roll kind of funny. It's not gonna sit as nicely on your body as a single stitch t-shirt. You're gonna get a funky end to it if it's getting dried, if it's the right type of fabric where that's gonna affect it. It's way more common on a double stitch t-shirt. It's never gonna happen on a single stitch like this. So when you're out thrifting, when you're looking for proper vintage t-shirts, a really easy way to tell, if you don't see a really obvious, something like this where it says Sturgis 1993, this is obviously a t-shirt from 1993, all right? There's not really a lot of doubt about that. But if you've got these two t-shirts, they don't say, the year on them. It's not that obvious. A really easy way to tell is to look for that single stitching. You're gonna see that line of single stitching, you already immediately know it's a pre-1995 t-shirt. This one here is from 95. Is this 95? This shirt I have on right now is from 1996. It's a double stitch t-shirt. It's a really simple way to tell what era your shirt is from and if it's like a proper vintage, if there's no identifying marks on it that say, 1993 rally or 2001 concert, right? It's really simple to look at that and know that you've got a proper vintage t-shirt that's gonna last. All right, guys, hope that clears it up a little bit, shows you the difference between a single stitch and a non-single stitch t-shirt, answers any questions you might have. If you got more, ask me a question in the comments. If you liked the video and it helped you out and you're now like, dang, now I know that single stitch is one line of stitching, hit the video a like, hit the subscribe button. I'll teach you all about shirts and stitches and anything else you'd care to know. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time. Have a great day.